Hi everyone, and welcome to Crafting with Purple. This is just a quick tip technique on how to utilize rose petal duct tape that you normally use on flowers, and then utilize them to do a swirl. I hope you can see that it's swirling. Okay. Now this is a giant flower. I'm doing this actually for an embellishment for a hat, and I'm using a plastic plate, and I thought the swirl technique would look really cool. And you can see it starting there, and it just swirls around. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, you first need to know how to make a rose petal, and I showed that really quickly in one of my other videos. I actually have this one already started. I'm just going to finish it off really quick, and then I'll start a new one. I always end my tape pointed, so it's easier to click off. So I'm just going to cut this one off right now, and I'll start another one from the beginning. Just stick that right there on the plate. I pull off a little bit of roll of duct tape. You can do this with a craft knife and a cutting mat, but I find it's just easier to work right off the roll. I fold down my point. I leave about 1 centimeter here to the left. I cut off a little bit, leaving a little bit of stickiness. I then fold this up, the point up, and you end up with a triangle that's got, stuck to my nail, you've got a little bit of a triangle that has stickiness here, and there's your triangle, and that's your rose petal. I'm just going to stick it off to the side. I'm going to do one more time, and then I'll also reference my other video on where I did duct tape flowers so that you can watch what I was doing there. I fold down the point. I cut it off. Notice I didn't really care that it wasn't straight, because when I fold this one up, it kind of fixes whatever I messed up. It may not look the best on that side, but it looks fabulous over here. And then for me, when I end a roll, I usually go ahead and leave it where it's ready for another point. It's easier to lift up then, it doesn't quite stick down. Alright, so for a swirl you need to use 2 colors. For this example I'm using red and gold, but you can use any pattern duct tape you want, or any brand, so it's up to you on your design and what you want to do. I of course started with a red plate because it followed along with the red duct tape that I was using. Here's this piece that I had started. I'll just finish that point and I'll put it off to the side. Alright, so to do our swirl we have to figure out kind of how we wanted our swirl, and I figured I wanted 2 gold swirls to come in and the rest being red. And so I don't like to measure, so basically I just took my red point, and I know it's hard to see because it's red on red, and I went ahead and just stuck it on at the top somewhere. I then turned it over, and I basically tried to find the opposite point, and I went ahead and put one on. I then figured out where the middle points were. I stuck a piece on here, and here, and then I kind of eyeballed it to see, okay, is that kind of even? Well, it's not. Now if you really wanted to, you could measure this to make sure it was perfectly even. I didn't think it was necessary. And then I knew I wanted 2 gold, so I went ahead and added 1 gold. And then I flipped it around because I wanted the gold to be exactly in the same spot on the other side. A gold up there. And then I had 2 more intersections that I went ahead and finished off. Now we just complete our flower just like we did in the other video by overlapping. So it's really simple to remember. If you've got a red point, you're going to add a red triangle and decide what your spacing is going to be. Okay, I just turn it. If I've got a red point, I use another red. If I have a red point it's another red. If it's a gold point, woohoo, we use a gold. Okay. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around. Now at the beginning it's really easy to keep track of where you are. I was doing it going around the thing. If I stopped, what I did is I just took one of my points and I made a little marker. That way later when I picked this up I knew where I was starting so I could go around. Now at some point, I'm just going to back up here, you're going to have done enough of these reds. I'm just going to do a whole bunch of reds right now. And you're going to be overlapping your gold. And that's how your spiral pattern starts. Okay? Now you don't want to get ahead of yourself with these reds because you want to make sure that you have a place for your gold. So if you find that, oops, that's a little bit too far and I really want it over, you can pull that one off. Get that gold down and put that red one up. And you just keep, now this is going to spiral in front of the gold and that's going to start your spiraling in. Okay, so that's a quick technique for how you go about doing your spirals. I'm trying to finish. Ah, here's the finished one, fell on the floor. And so here we are. So here's that gold and it's spiraling in. And because I started on the lip, it kind of did this really cool technique of kind of going down and then up and then in. Anyways, that's just a really quick tip on how to do an outside in spiral. The same thing works if you're doing a traditional flower from the inside out. Just figure out where your spacing is of your petals and then just follow along your spiral. So I hope that helps everyone. If you have any questions, please post them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for crafting with purple.